Alright, welcome back everyone. Here we are through 3 days of building. Got our foundation, base, whatever you want to call it, in, and several pieces for our tray of tiny pieces. I'm pretty okay with how the camera turned out with the lenses. You know, I cut off some of the lenses yesterday just because I didn't want to cut the teeny tiny circles. But I think it turned out pretty okay. I couldn't get this thing on straight either, but I'm hoping from the front it won't look that bad. That's our little box of goodies here. I'm not sure where that's going to end up, but I think the rolls turned out really good on that as well. But if you're new here, this is what I do. I buy these kits and build them step by step, mostly in real time. You get to see all my successes and all my failures, and how I hopefully fix those inevitable failures as they come up. Upload daily and just try and have a good time. We're not solving the world's problems, just building silly little models, having a bit of fun. If you've seen any kits or builds or sets you want me to take a shot at, feel free to drop in the comments. I'm always looking at on my list. And I've got the most intelligent audience in YouTube because y'all provide me with nothing but the best options. Alright, so we're ready to jump in. I have pre-scored all these pages, so they're all ready to be folded. But I did save a couple out to do on camera so you can see the technique. If you've watched me for a while, you've seen this technique a few times. If I can find my ruler. But the simplest thing, it took me a long time to figure out. Just get you a straight edge of some sort and a fairly sharp point. Not sharp, but it's got a, that didn't feel good to do that. Should have did a little bit too hard. Just hold it down firmly and trace along your line. Do that on all the lines you want to fold. And it gives you a good crease. It makes it much easier to get them to, in this case, accordion up. I also do this with like when I make cubes or boxes or whatever. Just work your way down until you get all of them done. And on this one, I think there's actually one more. There's one extra that I don't have to do because they included a picture of the cover of the book that these are supposed to be the pages for. I think a couple of the books are slightly different sizes, is why they did that. But I'm going to cut it off at that last line when I actually do the bookmaking part. Best I can tell, that's what I'm supposed to do. And these also never, so far they've not, I don't think I've had one, maybe one or two that actually lined up nicely. When it's all said and done, they all end up a little bit cattywampus. Like I say, just trying to trace those. See, I'm getting a little less purple on my fingernail, so I'm assuming that dye is going to eventually wear off. One more. Alright. I think, oh, I haven't, I didn't do, I just realized, was do the books, which also a little bit more difficult to do when the lines aren't crystal clear, but they did. I don't know if they're showing up with that glare, but they've all got little dashed lines that tell you where to fold. Oh, they did until, there's it's on there too. Sometimes they blend in almost too well. Let me get these all upright, and I'll do these right quick. There's only a couple per each book. So get rid of this light, and it should put a little more juice on this one. See, on that one, they sort of made them, the dashes are yellow rather than brown too. So that's I think that's supposed to be our fold line. So. Under there. should give us a good. Yeah, you can really sort of. I don't know. I don't know if we'll show it on camera, but it got a good. Gives it a nice book shape for the outside. Okay. Fill up the whole screen with that. Maybe it'll be a little better. Skinny book on this one, looks like. Yep. This one's so busy it's really hard to see in person. Looks like that's about it. Those are probably the most obvious ones I can see. Those red dashes against a blue background, so that's much easier to hit. Alright. Now, say we're about ready to roll. Okay. So, tricks to be finding the right book cover. Ah, there it is. Yep. Just says they're supposed to. First page is supposed to go down. Oh. First and last pages, according to the picture, are supposed to go like that, down away from you. So that's good. Actually, yeah. Look, maybe. not. Good fold over. There it goes. Get that binding shape in. And I said is I've never had them line up properly. That's not too far off. Okay, so now paper. So get out the nozzle with precision and the super glue. I'm gonna try just doing the front and back pages and see how it does without doing the actual binding in it. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll see. So, flowing. I'm going to do it that way. I'll get you at least before the glue dries. Up. Okay, so you lined up the edge there. Now, touch back here. And contained and wrapped around. Okay. Not a perfect book, but not bad. I'll take it. I say the binding didn't fill up like I'd like it to. I think maybe I can sort of force it. Okay. Now, let me find. Okay, let's get this guy out. Let's see, maybe do the creases this way first, get it started up. Okay, got a nice solid shape there. Go the other way. And not quite as good as the other side, but should be all right. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do that with the blank side. I think that's what I ended up doing on the other one. But okay, so okay, no real difference in the appearance there. So. Okay, let's see how this one goes. On that, squish those in. Okay, this one's going to be a little more cooperative, it looks like. Picked up another one. If we can get it to play nice on the other side once the glue gets in place. Yeah, that one looks pretty good. Little sloppy on the edge right there. Nobody will ever see it, but I'm still gonna. Okay. All right. Now, this big checkerboard pattern. Let's see. It seemed to work okay to crease it the wrong way first. Bring it back around. Okay. This is a much slower process than I thought it would be. I'm going to do this one more, then I'll fast forward through the rest of them. I think I've stumbled onto my technique for this one. I'm sure y'all are ready to move on to some other highfalutin. Because we actually get to, after I get done with this, we actually get to build some furniture. Something besides tiny pieces. Gonna be another good one, I think. A little crooked on the. Okay. All right. Another one. Ooh, it looks. I think that second one's still the best looking one so far, but it's not bad. Okay, now, like as promised, I'm gonna stop with real time here and give the rest of them in fast motion, and we will move on to building our, like I say, our bookshelf next. So I'll try and remember to put some music underneath it. I usually forget, but y'all see. Okay, everything went really well until that last one. I missed on the front side, so that threw the back side off. So it's otherwise they turned out really nice. As far as I don't think I've ever had a batch turn out this tight and even along the page edges for the most part. Really pleased with all of it. Like I said, I guess I got overconfident on the last one and decided I could speed through it. But like I say, they really That's probably the best batch of books I've ever made as far as the folding open ones. But still, you know, 1 out of however many that was being goofed up isn't bad for me. Okay, so now bring out the tray of tiny pieces. Stow my books. And I wasn't sure about not putting glue in the binding, but that does seem to work out pretty good too. Usually I put a drop of glue on the back, on the inside, to hold it together, but it looks like that's unnecessary. So far. Time will tell. Okay, but now we are ready. Like I alluded to earlier, I get to build us a bookshelf. Focus. There it goes. So, A5s are the sides, A8 are the shelves, A6 in the top, and that's our decoration for it. Okay. It says okay. So we're supposed to go, let's see, I'm trying to think. Let me look how they got this thing decorated, where I want to put the printing. Okay. Looks like to best conceal where they've labeled it, the A5s should go to the top because this is going to have a little bit of concealment on there, so that's what I'm going to go with. And these are supposed to go 2 centimeters up, and then 2 centimeters up from that one. Get this one. Okay. So let's see here. Let me get my. Let's see. I'll just use my. I'll score it with this. Let's see here. Here's millimeters. So that's 2 centimeters. Is that right? Double check myself. Yeah, pretty close. So I just moved it. Let's see here. Okay, so there we go. 2 centimeter mark. Hopefully this works. Lift that up and just carry these straight on over. And keep moving. Up from there. This. Yeah, they look even, if nothing else. And now, gotta figure out. Okay, so I need. Okay, so this guy, about 2.1. Okay, I think that's going to be my marker because I've got a couple of these. They're nice and even. Now I'm trying to think of how to get. a square. And some acrylic here. So, you in there. You. That's gonna be. I said that's gonna be the bottom. So put that back in here. That. Bring this in like so. Whoa, not like that. That should get me. Put another on top here. Hang on. Okay, I think I've got it. And that, I'll do that same setup. Flip it over and do the other side. That should give me a nice square joint right there. Okay. Make sure that's all the way in the corner. Onto that. Okay. That's the plan. Let's find out. Okay, so let's get want that air bubble I always try and avoid. All the air bubbles. Okay. There. Push everybody in. 5 more seconds. Okay. Not flush there, but flush enough for us. Okay. Very minimal sticking there. And I'll need another one to do the next shelf because I gotta push it in there. In there, so I got something good to brace it against at the bottom. You on there. And the third one on there. Okay. So that's the plan again. And get those air bubbles out of there. Okay, I think I did. Up, pushing in, pushing down. Leave another 3 seconds. Okay. Oop. A little loose one. Get you out of there. A little sticky, but not too bad. Alright. That looks nothing like the picture. This was just over 2 centimeters, right? No, that was 3 centimeters. How did I mess that up? Oh. Okay. So, do it again. Let's see how far off are you? It goes on the bottom shelf. Okay, nothing going on the bottom shelf, so that's good. I can work around that, I think. But I can't work. Okay, yeah, I have to try again. Turn them. Okay, I turned it the wrong way. Duh. Okay, that should be Just on the T. Yeah, fairly forgiving. Yeah, I should have. Actually, looks like that one's fairly close to the mark. I should have left it alone. Live and learn. But, yeah. Okay, so let's try that again. So you're in there and put them in sideways. I can't believe and I can believe I did that. What? No, what's that? What? Am I on inches? What's going on here? Okay. No, it's not too much. That's not too. Okay, it's only 1.7. Okay, so that's probably my problem. Other shapes I've got. Ooh, there's some. Nope. Okay. That one is 2 centimeters. And let's see a second. Okay. 2 of them. Is there a third one in here now? No. Okay. I'll figure it out. I can. Third one's not as important. I can just. Okay. Got a plan. Again. Okay. Inevitable mistake has been made. Time to correct it now. Make sure I'm. Yep. Long ways. Oh, let me get you a little more up top light there. Okay. Same technique, just I do want to leave that one. That's right, I gotta have reinforcement underneath it. There. And the big ones make it easier on me, I hope. And push this guy in here. Okay. Wasn't already sticking. Okay. And like I said, I'm gonna be pretty close to putting it right back where I took it off from. Good. Okay. Now that looks more proportional to what we had on the other side. Now this one, in theory, should be easier. Put you in here. You're against that. Ready to drop in when the time comes. Okay. Now a couple of drops on. And And give it 3 more. Okay. That looks pretty square to me. I'm not going to put a level on it because it's not square, but I think I put this one upside down because it is, yeah, the shelves are square, but the, okay. You all pop off easier than the other. Okay, so, okay, so it like that, so I want to go like that, I think. Okay. Okay, so that's the top because over. Yeah, that's what I did. I want you guys in there. Okay. One more time. I think that's about all I need. And I hope I didn't do that again. No. There's flush-ish. Okay. Okay, that looks much better standing up. Okay. A little more work than I was intending, but okay. Now, this guy good on top. Should have a little overhang on either side. It does. How much? Okay. So, over there. Just to prop it up. I'm not using it as a spacer this time. And I think that's the same. Okay, this wood's the same thickness, and that looks like the thickness of. Okay, so I'm going to try. Just popping this in here as the spacer. That gives me a little overhang on that side. That doesn't look even again. Maybe it's just this thing in the way. Okay. Yeah, the shelves are not even. I wasn't expecting this to be the issue. How far off are they? Alright. Yeah, that's all like a millimeter. I don't see it there, but I do. Put that top on, does that make it show up more or something? Yeah, this one's a little crooked, but I think, okay, I think it's gonna be okay. It's gonna have a lot of stuff stacked on it, so it should be good. Okay, get you in corner, get my spacer in place here. Ooh, make sure I'm on the right. Which side I'm supposed to be? Okay, so this is the top. Yeah, that's right. Okay, it's go time. Okay, that's not right, but okay. Got a little overhang there, so I'm gonna live with it. This guy is supposed to go right there at the top corner. Yep. I do look, the front overhangs a bit too, so. Okay, so I'll just a couple of drops into the corner here. Okay. And slightly crooked bookshelves are done. Now let's pop some pieces on there. Ooh, we get to use our... Okay, get our tray of tiny pieces out. And a little reliable cell phone stand so y'all can, so we can, everybody gets to see. We'll lay down there. So here on here. Yeah, that shelf is really crooked. Okay. So, the top shelf gets 2 books, camera, this picture, clock, and a little whatever box I still haven't figured out what that is. Candles maybe? I don't know. The bottom shelf gets 8 books. 5, 6, 7, 8. Shall up there. A box of goodies. And that's all that goes on there. And then the top gets this picture with the stand on it. And this picture. We got one book left in our tray of tiny pieces. Plus, we also get our Eiffel Tower pendant bead charm doodad goes on top. Whoops. Okay. So, I think I'll start with the bottom shelf, the lower shelf, and I like the B7000 for mounting this stuff up. It's a little more forgiving and you can reposition stuff a little bit easier. Get my super glue to drain back in. It's all in the nozzle. Let's see here. Get up. I didn't. It didn't go everywhere, but it made a mess there. Okay. Now, B7000. We'll start with our box of goodies here. Oh yeah. So, now right across there. Make sure I got it facing the right direction. looks like 4 or 5 of them are supposed to be stacked pretty tightly. So. So let's, I guess actually, now this is where having the pages all fanned out is going to become an issue. So I guess I'm going to have to drop some glue in there. Maybe I should. Okay. Get my nozzle of precision back out. I'm going to put my. There it is. Most of my needle from a B7000. Okay, so I've got another nozzle. I wasn't even thinking about gluing the book, having to glue the book shut. Okay, pop another one of you on. On each page we should be good. There's only a few pages in each book. Yep, a little pressure and it shuts right down. One of those if they're going to do this, why didn't they just make them out of wood? So. Yeah, already. Didn't stay. What you again? Okay. Now, we'll go back to the B7000 to actually join them together. It gives a little more flexibility on it. Go right in there. These all up against the side. So 3 more. Yeah. Oh. Let's throw the next shelf up. Got my keep going on this stuff. Yes. These guys aren't supposed to be stacked in quite as tight, so that should be to sort of lean them out a little bit, I hope. We'll see how it goes. Let's see here. Trying to lean them individually. I'll give just a little, very generous across the bottom. Almost up there against. I guess I will be up against that box. It's a little more exaggerated on the laying down than in their picture, but I think it's still same effect. Okay, 2 more books to super glue closed. See how the page are. Okay. These two go together. Let's see. I think I want this one on the outside and that one up against the wall. Okay. That should dry in place. And like I said, camera is on next. So dial up on the bottom of you. Just. Okay, so this goes on the front side of this. Looks like almost blocking the picture, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place there. I couldn't see that. The clock goes basically in front of our little picture here, so I'm going to get that with the super glue, try to make it a little bit more beefy to stand up, I hope. I believe similarly, I planned ahead here. I'm gonna put this back out. Same thing on the other side of the camera. We'll have something to sort of stand up against. So we got, that's sort of what they got going on in there. So now get my B7000 going again. And reinsert it, I hope. Okay. Okay. It has the effect I was looking for. And then our little box of this. It's supposed to go sort of catty corner and over on the other side, so do a little glue on the corner there and some on the bottom. If I can't get you to play nicely here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty close to the effect they had. That's how my shelves are too high, it looks like. Because there's supposed to be some clearance on the top, but I think that might help camouflage my camera crookedness on the side. But let's see if I can get y'all to stand up now. And on the top here we get our, like I said, pictures in our Eiffel Tower. I'm going to do the Eiffel Tower first because I'm going to use the B7000 on it just to get a little more gloopiness to it. About like so. And then I'm going to use the super glue to mount those pictures that our little stand on the back that we made. This should be the way to go with this. That's a nice little dot on there. Here. On this end it says should have done the other one first because it's in the middle. But it's, I think, supposed to be about like so. It's actually stands up pretty nicely too. Well, I crimped it a little bit to make it work, it looks like. Okay, so last little bit. Get some super glue to come out. Okay, I believe I'm just going to let the super glue. Okay, it's already setting in. Okay. But there's our final bookshelf look. And that is definitely enough for tonight. Progress has been made. I'm going to let that glue set up before I lay it over too long for y'all to watch. But, as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, complain, share, do whatever you want to with all of that. Be good to one another, stay safe, and click on a link. There's my channel up there if you'd like to subscribe. There's my other channel where I do experiments a couple of times a month. That is what YouTube thinks you should be watching, and there is the playlist for this whole build. I'll see you tomorrow.